Right,
Here.
Chief of Staff Gomez. Manager of PR Hammond. Coordinator of Student Engagement Burton. Coordinator of Student Engagement SIP.
Here.
Director of DEA Stephens.
Here.
Director of Finance Savage.
Here.
Director of Integrity Neela.
Here.
Director of Leadership Development Hills.
Here.
Director of Marketing Santiago. Senator Acosta.
Here.
Senator El Sebastian. Senator Berrentos. Senator Bishop.
Here.
Senator Berneman. Senator Clark.
Here.
Senator Dunn. Senator El Refe. Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator Claude D. Rand.
Here.
Senator Lopez Pereira.
He's running late, but he'll be here.
Senator Melgar Serrano. Senator Mitchell. Senator Pipers.
Here.
Senator Portas.
Here.
Senator Sakota. Senator Sheikh. Here. Tasneem. Senator Williams. Senator Whiteman. Here. That is it.
And so, just for clarification. Vice Brock. Pause, reset. 16. Oh, I see. This is.
I'm with them. Yeah, thank you. So I'm saying someone else.
No, I saw. I'm so sorry.
They're fine, boys. I know. That's like, I'm a freshman, I have it from everyone.
Okay. Until Senator Lopez Pereira comes, we will not go through the entirety of the agenda, but we will have campus wellness and recreation, excuse me, I just messed up the names, present, and then we will do the Maverick Impact Award. Okay, so if I could just have you guys.
I'm gonna start. Yep. Hello, everyone. We have an introduction slide for the two of us in just a second. But we're gonna start with this. And I know we just got introduced. We are campus recreation and wellness. And actually, well, wellness and recreation, I don't even care. That's great too. At least you have the words right. It actually falls into our first slide pretty well. That's who we are. These other words, how many of y'all have ever heard those other words? I'm talking about us. Yeah. Okay. Can I see how many people in some way, shape, or form engage with campus recreation wellness? No. Okay, great. Great. So yeah, we often hear H&K, which H&K is what? The name of the building we're in. It's also an academic unit that's housed in the facility. We hear hyper, that goes back, apparently that's what it used to be called. Neither of us were here. Yeah, we were not here. The gym, a lot of people just say I'm going to the gym, or Recwell, which we also like, that is our nickname. We have some giveaways. Does anybody know our hashtag? Your way. Hey. If you didn't hear that, it is Rec Your Way. And you'll see that kind of throughout. So. Let's go. This is what we prefer. Recwell, Campus Recreation and Wellness, that's who we are. We're the ones that do all the stuff in the building of H&K. We manage the buildings and do all of that. So that is who we are as a department. And this is who we are as individuals. My name is Lee Garsecki or Leanne. I go by both. She, her pronouns. I am the director of Campus Recreation and Wellness and have been there for 3 years now.
And I'm Megan Schwinier. I'm the Assistant Director of Operations and Promotions. I use she, her pronouns, and I've been there for almost 5 years in November.
So we're going to tell you a little bit about, obviously, about what we do and who we are, and hopefully answer some questions. Maybe give you some new information you haven't had before. But to start off with, I kind of just want to say like who we are as a whole. That's our mission. I'm not gonna read that verbatim, but what I want to kind of summarize it to say is that we really strive. I really try to emphasize this with the team. We work really hard to make this happen, to strive to be a place, a space, we're a facility, a space where everyone feels safe and welcome. Provide programming that's appealing to as many people as possible. We're never gonna hit everyone, but that is our goal, to continually try to do more. And then services that benefit. What services benefit, especially the students? That's our first foremost our goal. Students have to pay a fee to use us. And so because of that, I think it's our job to provide something that everyone can partake in some shape or form. So that's kind of who we are and what we strive to do.
Okay, so Lee kind of just touched on it. So who we serve. Our main audience over at Campus Recreation and Wellness is students. As she mentioned, most students pay our UPF fee. You can see the breakdown up there of who specifically pays the UPF fee to use our facility. So there was a change in the UPF fee this last year, which allowed all students who live in the state of Nebraska, no matter what modality of class, no matter format, so online, in person, it allows them now to use the facility. So if you're hearing from people they don't have access because they're online only, that may not be the case if they live in the state of Nebraska. There are also some specialty classes, some faculty staff that take classes and use the tuition remission program, things like that. They don't get access because their primary reason for being at the university is faculty staff, so they don't pay that fee automatically. Who we've served so far this year. So we have served already just this year, walking through the gates of H&K and Campus Recreation and Wellness, 5,419 unique students. And they have equaled 68,934 total scans into the gates year to date. Last year, we had over 379,000 scans from just students into our gates, and that made up for 86% of our total scans. You can see our numbers for faculty staff. So we have 281 faculty staff and 400 unique alumni, community member, and guests that we also serve.
So that's who we serve. What do we do? Anyone ask this? What are
some services that y'all have participated in Campus Rec, or you know that Campus Rec has to offer, and we have swagers?
Caps. Is it in the same building?
That's in H&K. That is counseling and psychological services. I'm gonna go down because I saw you next.
Intramurals.
Intramurals. Woohoo. Then go to the back. There's two in the back row that had hands up.
I use like the South weight room.
South weight room, yes, our weight room and fitness programs. Oh, you can go.
Like rock climbing, I
Rock
guess?
climbing, yes,
I was also gonna say rock climbing.
perfect, the rock wall, the bouldering
A
wall.
little dumbbell.
I got like the pool and spa.
Pool, yep, in our spa.
A dumbbell?
Sauna.
Sauna, what'd you say? Workout classes. Group fitness classes, which are pretty.
It's a stress ball.
Pick you guys up.
Dumbbell.
We got some stress balls, we got some
Oh,
more
the-
weights.
Yeah.
We got some stickers for you all as well. So we're gonna move into some of the things that we do at Teddy Hansen's out.
I missed somebody.
Over here, these two right here and right in front of you.
Dumbbell, sunglasses?
Don't know.
Okay. Who else? Sorry.
These two right. Yep. Okay, so one of you mentioned aquatics. So we do have a pool that has a diving well and also swim lanes. We host a lot of different events in our pool, but we also are open daily for lap swim. So some of the things that we host in there, we host Battleship during homecoming, which is this picture right here, where you try to sink each other's boats. We have monthly free SUP yoga, so stand up paddleboard yoga. It's actually coming up in 2 weeks, which is right here. Lifeguard certifications, adult and youth swim lessons. And we also host community and UNO swim meets. So we are the home water for the swim team. We also have our pool and hot tub hours up there for you. It is a little bit different than the main facility due to the athletic practice times. But most of the time during those, you'll be able to find a free lane, or there's a program coming that you can come in and participate in.
Just wanna say Battleship coming, homecoming, sign up. Anybody here ever done Battleship? Do you guys do you know what it is? Do y'all know? Okay. It's
Anybody
so
want
fun.
to do Battleship?
In a
So
team.
it is free, so you do not need an IM pass to participate in that since it is a homecoming event.
Very fun. It's very fun to watch. Even if you don't participate, come watch everybody sink each other's boats. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so our team also collaborates with UNO students, organizations, departments, and the community to secure space in the facility for events on a weekly basis. We serve student organizations quite a bit, and student orgs can request space in our facility through our online portal as long as it is approved through the SLI office. So we'll put it there. So 295 hours of facility reservations went to student organizations August and September, and we have plenty more coming this year. And just for a little tidbit on that, academics takes about 1,600 hours. Campus Rec took 288 hours of reservation, so think group fitness classes, things in the pool, rock climbing events, different things like that. Where we gave 295 hours of space to our student organizations, some fee charged, some for free.
Fitness programs. So fitness for us kind of it has 3 different categories. We have the weight rooms. South weight room was mentioned. We also have North weight room. And then group fitness and personal training. Group fitness, that first sentence, I want to just really highlight that. Group fitness is free. Is there anybody in here that thought it was not free? Please raise your hand. Okay, it is free. It has been, there was 1 year they charged. I think it was actually, they decided to charge right as I was getting here and then we took it away. And we're very fortunate to be able to do that right now. I'm not gonna say that that's gonna be forever. Budgets determine that, but we have really decided to put money towards not making anyone pay to come to group fitness. It's a really great way for people to find community, get active in ways that they weren't. It's really fun. People tend to laugh a lot in group fitness classes and just enjoy it. So currently it is free. You sign up on our app to come to class and come on in and have a good time. We also, instructor certifications, I want to hit on that because we have a few students that teach for us, would love to have more, and we usually offer some opportunities. So if we just had a Pilates bar certification class last weekend in the building and paid for some students to get certified. So that is being added to our schedule. Last December, we hosted a Schwinn cycle certification class and also had a few students get certified. Any cyclists out there? I'll plug my class. I teach 7 a.m. on Wednesdays. Come hang out with me. 281 unique participants. That's how many people have participated in group fitness just this semester so far, which we have a big group fitness initiative, 41% increase from last year. So we're doing a lot to try to get people to participate in that. And then personal training, that is paid for. However, Learn to Lift is under there and that is not. That is a new initiative this semester. I think they already had the last one, most likely will reappear in the spring. It is free and it's basically for beginners or someone who's like, I'm not a beginner, but I don't know what this gym looks like. I don't know what to do here. You can sign up for free and our personal trainers will give you a session where it's a group, but walk you through how to use machines, how to use different pieces of equipment, and basically just give you an intro. There we go.
Another one of our amazing amenities that I think Lee and I both think this is probably one of the biggest value add for students at our facility is our injury prevention and care. So injury prevention and care, we have a certified athletic trainer on our staff. She's amazing. We actually have 2 right now. We have a student who is also a certified trainer working with us. And a great group of students who can help with injury evaluations, injury rehab, and prevention of further injury, or if you're trying to prevent, if you're coming back and you've had an injury, preventing that. We do things like the Graston method, which is a recovery method for muscle recovery, ice, heat, massage guns, first aid. We offer CPR first aid certifications as well. When I say all of that, last year alone, we had 164 injury evaluations that were done. Sessions, when it comes to rehabilitation, typically average around $75 a session out in the community, and that's the low end. So we on average are saving every year students and our community about $24,975 of out-of-pocket expense to use our free clinic. We also have crutches checkout, things like that. So if you're injured on campus and you don't want to go purchase those, you can come and rent them from our space for free. So 85% roughly of our users are students. And we really pride ourselves on being able to offer this to you. IPC is open the majority of the time we are. So when Nebraska Medicine is closed and you hold your leg playing basketball in the courts, you can go downstairs and get an assessment done. So this is a really big value add. And you'll see at the bottom of each of our slides are little hashtags for each area. And we really do want to help people recover in the way that's best for them there.
I'm gonna say one more thing, because I love IPC and I always say I've been in rec for a long time. This is my first time having IPC in a rec center that I've been working in. So it's not all that common, and the fact that it's free is amazing. I heard this question once, you don't have to get hurt in our building to use IPC. So it can happen outside of the building, doing whatever, and then you still can come and see Stacy and set up an appointment and do an eval or a rehab with her. So, and I also wanted to mention, we don't have this up there. We haven't fully marketed it yet, but it is out there. Dry needling. Anybody ever had dry needling done for an injury? Yeah, we now have dry needling. Stacy is certified. She can do dry needling. She's basically been using us as her guinea pigs, which has been great to try things out. There will be a small cost with that. That's the only thing we charge for, just because the materials and all the needles are a little expensive, but I think it's very cheap, like maybe $10-15 to do it. So that'll be great. OVC, Outdoor Venture Center. So this area for us also has 3 kind of distinct areas. Climbing wall, any climbers? No? Okay. Well, you can come try it out. We have people who can belay you and teach you how to do it. It will be safe. They've been doing a lot lately with some theme nights. What's the next one?
The next one is Halloween. It was
Okay,
just
Shrek.
Yep.
Halloween's coming up. So it's really fun. That's a really great space. It's a great community. They really enjoy that area. To date, this semester, 378 unique individuals have climbed this semester, which is a great number. Trips and clinics, probably the most fun part of this. We do fall and spring break trips. They went to Moab a couple years ago, 23, I think spring break was Moab. Last year, and I wrote this down, where did we go? Snowy Range, Wyoming, we went for a ski trip. We've done cross-country skiing in Colorado. We have an upcoming fall break trip to Buffalo River, Arkansas. Camping, hiking, rock climbing, no experience needed. So this is not advanced level. And like, if you don't want to rock climb, you don't have to rock climb type of thing. But there are a couple spots open because it was full and a couple people backed out. So if anyone's interested in spending fall break in Arkansas, doing some fun stuff outdoors, we have that. There'll also be a trip coming up in between fall and spring semester in early January. They don't know exactly where they're going yet, but it's snowboarding or something. So, and then another spring break trip. So those are really fun, and we try to make it really affordable for students. I think the fall break trip is $175. And yes, it's still pricey. That's still a good amount of money, but that covers everything. Food, the amenities, the travel, everything you need. Obviously, we provide all the gear, which leads me to rental center. We have a rental center. You didn't know that. It's a very big rental center. We check out outdoor gear, camping gear, meaning tents, sleeping bags. We have cooking equipment. So you can go backpacking, you can rent everything from the rental center. We have hammocks that you can just rent and take out to Elmwood Park and hang out. We have boats. So we're kind of ending boat season now, but when it comes back around, kayaks, canoes, the staff will be there to load them onto your car. You will have to load them back onto your car in order to get them back, but they will teach you. It's not that hard. So yeah, we have all that rental gear. Trying to think of other things that that's about all I wanted to say. Oh, the skis, that's what I was gonna say. Winter is coming. We rent cross-country skis. So if you're interested, and they usually do a couple clinics too to teach folks how to do that. And then you can just, cross-country ski when it's a beautiful snowfall through Elmwood Park. So yeah.
I've heard a lot about intramural sports, and our sports program has 2 components to it, soon to be 3, hopefully. But we have our intramural sports, so we have leagues and tournaments. Actually, right now, there is flag football going on out at our fields. And there are rec fields out by Baxter that we use for this. They're on that photo over there. We will have a fall and a spring schedule. So fall is in full swing right now. All of you should have gotten them passed out to you. So all of our sports are available through an IM pass for $10 for the semester unlimited, $15 if you want an annual pass, which is nice. So you can play both semesters and get access. We have everything from individual tournaments, like we have badminton going on tonight, but table tennis and pickleball is coming up next. So we have both of those. We have an app that you sign up through called Fusion Play. And we've had 441 unique pass holders year to date this semester, which is amazing. Sports clubs. So this is going to be a little bit more of the competitive side in our student orgs on campus that play sports. I might have missed one on here. Hockey, men's volleyball, women's volleyball, curling does stuff over at Baxter on the ice, which is really awesome. They're a great club and they're partnered with the community. Men's and women's soccer. We do have a men's basketball potentially coming on really soon. And then also winter guard. I feel like I missed one. Swim. That is the one I missed. Yep. So that is a great way for students to continue to compete outside of high school. They get to go and travel and compete against different schools. So just a little bit of numbers for you. So we had some fun retention program numbers that we were asked to do this past year. So we thought we would share. We took data from MavLink, MavSync, DegreeWorks, all of that, and we looked at our participants via their matriculation through school. And it came out that for the climbing wall participants, 93% or higher each semester that was looked at were retained. For club sports, it was the same thing, 93% or higher. And then actually intramural sports, 97% or higher in those semesters. We also are one of the largest student employers on campus. We currently employ around 120 student employees. We try to provide a valuable work experience that not only fosters development or in-job opportunities, but also fostering development for them as human beings as well. We hire mostly students for all of our hourly positions. However, some program areas such as group fitness and a couple others do hire non-students.
I just want to say student employment with Campus Rec is a really great opportunity to get leadership skills. Most of our areas have levels. So for instance, the area Megan oversees, front desk, you start as guest services and then you become a building manager. And when we're not there, so like right now, there's no pro staff in that building, our building managers are running the building. And they're overseeing everything and they're handling, risk management, which can sometimes be scary. We had a 911 call last night. Everything's fine, but they have to manage those situations when somebody gets hurt. If you think about what you do in our building, injury can happen. So it's just a really great place to get leadership skills.
We did the same retention project on our student employees and we had 94% or higher retention rate for our student employees as well.
Wellness programs. So the other part of our department is wellness, kind of holistic thinking outside of just fitness and physical activity. We have wellness coaching. So this is something that's been on campus for a few years, but we have restructured it in the last year to become peer wellness coaching. So we hired our first kind of cohort of peer mentors, and they actually we trained them all summer and they just started taking on students. It's basically to sit down and talk about different topics like time management, goal setting, just different habits, sleep habits, whatever students are kind of struggling with. It's not something where you need CAPS, it's counseling and psychological services. It's more about like, help me get through this semester. Like I'm really struggling with time management or some changes in life. And you just moved on campus or off campus, things like that. And they can help walk you through that. And it's a pretty structured program. That QR code takes you to the request form if you want to request sessions. It is free. And then our annual health and wellness fair. It's one of our biggest events this year. It is November 6th, save that date. We usually have over 70 vendors. It happens in the downstairs courts. It is some UNO and then some from the community, but a lot of really great resources. And a lot of them try to make it fun. They bring in fun, engaging activities for their table. They have giveaways, things like that. So if you haven't been, definitely come in. And the time 11 to 2.
11 to 2.
That's usually our time frame, 11 to 2 on that Wednesday. And then some other things, just one-offs, financial wellness workshops. Usually we do about one a year, maybe one a semester at our front desk when that sun starts to go away here soon and the weather gets you down. Bright light lamp checkouts. Give yourself a little bit of vitamin D. Blood drives, self-defense courses. Wellness on Wheels is something that one of our staff does and takes to different buildings and they'll do different topics. Sometimes they'll have just education, some giveaways. They'll do a breast cancer awareness one for October. Every month has a theme. Special events. Maverick at Night, that's our big welcome back event. Anybody come this year? Yeah. All right. The first week of school is usually when we have that. It's a few hours at night, just kind of showing off what we have and it's a lot of fun. And then every semester we do a body positivity / self-love week. In the fall, it's called Love Every Body Week, really focused on body positivity. If you've been in the building, you'll see like writing all over the windows and mirrors, positive messaging. We do that both semesters. And then usually there's one big event tied to the week. And so that's what those pictures are of. That one in the middle. Can I play it?
Yeah.
She was smash it. It was called Smash the Scale. There's a organization called Southern Smash that does a lot of work and education around eating disorders. And so they try to kind of paint that picture of smashing the scale. And so we did that outside. The last one is our paintball event that we've done twice now. One's inside, one's out, where you write it something, a thought you want to disappear, go away, maybe something negative someone said about you, and then you throw paintballs at it. Our next one is coming up, it's October 27th to the 31st, skate night. So did anybody come to our skate party last year? I'm roller skating. First time it's been done, it was super fun, and we're gonna do it again in February, but not with this. We're gonna have it be part of Black History Month with SLI. So we're really excited to do that, and it's gonna be a lot bigger, because we found out we had a lot of people come and the floor was a little small, so we're gonna make that
double it.
double it.
So a big thing to note, we do have an app to enter our facility. A lot of students get held up at the gate a lot of the time because they forget their math card or there's some problems with it or something like that. If you download this app, it's your one-stop shop for everything campus recreation and wellness. So it not only has a barcode so you can get into the facility, but it also has your group fitness registration. You can purchase your IM pass on this. You can get notifications about if our building is closing due to weather delay or just any updates that we throw out there. It has a feedback section on it as well. I'm the person who gets them and I forward them to everyone. So please, if you have feedback for us, please let us know. So feel free to download any of those. Either one, if you're looking for it in the App Store, it's under UN Omaha Campus Recreation.
That's it. Yeah.
So I know like the gym isn't available to students like over the summer if they aren't enrolled. Are the other programs also unavailable?
Yeah, so again, because we're fee-based, it's all about that. So if you're taking a course that where you pay the fee, that's your access and membership in to do anything. So basically, yes, we do have summer memberships though for students. Again, we try to make it super affordable.
Yeah, we heavily discount them. So this last year, we did a sale right before the summer started. It was $80 for the entire summer. It gets you access to all of those programs because we do group fitness in the summer as well. And then also, then it was 90 after that, but then we prorate it every month. So it is pretty affordable. There's also monthly options if you're not in town all summer. $37 is pretty affordable. We obviously know in the current climate, money goes a long way. So we understand. We also have day passes too. So if there's like class you want to go to and you don't have access, you can pay that $10 a day pass to get in.
So regarding the summer, you can take, if you're taking summer classes, now you can be taking any amount of credits and have access. Okay. And then I was also gonna ask, what are all the certifications offered for like to become the trainer?
It just depends. So for group fitness, like I said, we've done a cycle, we just did a bar, so we kind of will look to see what our next thing is. We haven't, so if you're looking at group fitness, it's that personal training we haven't done yet, but we are looking at being able to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, for lifeguard training, do you have to take the CPR training alongside it?
Yeah, so lifeguard training, it's a combo course through the American Red Cross. So you take the professional rescuer certification course and the lifeguards course simultaneously. If you have a certification, it just helps you understand that material a lot quicker. If you already have the professional rescuer, I believe they still have to go through it, so your certifications sync up. But we do hire students who are not lifeguards and certify them as long as they commit to working for us. So that is something that we do when we're looking for guards. There's a big guard shortage, so we have to do what we have to do.
Anything else? Suggestions? Don't be shy. We'll take the feedback.
Why did they get rid of the chalk and the lifting, both the lifting gyms?
When did we get? I don't know.
'Cause you used to be allowed to use chalk in there, but now you can't.
You may have been able to use it pre-me, so I'm not sure exactly when it went away. Based on my experience though, the cleanup, it's really hard to clean up, especially with the flooring we have, especially in South. Well, in the back of North too, actually. So yeah, both of them are gonna be really hard to clean and hard to stay on top of. And we have to clean those areas ourselves. Environmental services cleaning, custodial does not clean that. So
It's a lot of student workers cleaning the floors every day, so I mean, not that this is like a consolation, but the one time a year we do allow chalk is for our powerlifting meet. So we do host an annual MAV lift off, and I know it's not a consolation, but thought I'd plug that. Any other questions? Yeah,
Yeah, so for like the men's soccer,
go for it.
so for like the men's soccer, is it like a casual one or is it a competitive one?
So for the one I had on the screen, for club sports, it is a competitive one. They had tryouts earlier this year, I know. You can find most of the student orgs on Instagram, I know, and also in our app, there's contact info for them. But we also have an indoor soccer intramural sport that's gonna be this fall. It's on your card. I can't tell you the exact date. But that one is gonna be more fun. It's co-rec though. So it won't just be men's.
And we should have outdoor in the spring. Anything else? Okay. If something pops up, please feel free to reach out. Happy to field questions, take suggestions, and yeah, hopefully we'll all see you in the rec. Thank you. Thank you. Give stickers right on. Just gonna grab them. About which one?
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
While the sticker is being passed around, our next item of business is the Maverick Impact Award. Today marks the beginning of a brand new tradition at UNO. For the very first time, we are presenting the Maverick Impact Award. This award was created to recognize the students who make UNO what it is, not just through their studies, but through their everyday contributions as on-campus student workers. These students are often the first faces we see when we walk into an office, the helping hands behind events, and the problem solvers who keep our campus running. The Maverick Impact Award celebrates those who go beyond the expectations of their role. It honors students who demonstrate accountability, professionalism, and leadership. These students live out the Maverick values of hard work, resilience, and service. Each month, we will take a moment to lift up one of these students and say, "We see you, we appreciate you, and your impact matters." This award is not just recognition. It's a reminder that the Maverick spirit lives in the daily dedication of our students. And today, as we present it for the very first time, we begin a tradition that will inspire future Mavericks for years to come. It is my honor and privilege to present the very first Maverick Impact Award to someone who has truly set the bar high. Jacob, please join me in welcoming Jacob to the front. Jacob joined UNO this summer as an incoming freshman, and from the very beginning, he showed us exactly what dedication and drive looked like. Hired in June, Jacob was given IT responsibilities that many would need months to adjust to. Instead, he took off running. Because of his work ethic, a project that was originally planned to take 6 months was completed in just 2.5, which thanks to Jacob's commitment, every CFAM lab was rearranged, re-imaged, and fully functional before the first day of class. That's an extraordinary accomplishment, not only in efficiency, but an impact for students, staff, and faculty alike. But Jacob's contribution doesn't just stop with getting the job done. They're eager to take on new challenges, always looking for ways to do more and to help others. Whether it's supporting faculty and staff, assisting classmates when tech issues come up in class, or simply stepping in wherever they can, Jacob consistently goes above and beyond. What stands out most is his spirit. He doesn't just work hard, he makes a positive impact across campus. That is exactly what the Maverick Impact Award was created to celebrate. Jacob, thank you for reminding us what it means to be a Maverick. Congratulations on being the first recipient of this award. You've set a powerful example, and I know your impact is just beginning. Congratulations. We're back to have you guys too. And we'll, I mean. Yeah, come to the front.
Yeah. Our social media. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, as we've hit quorum, the meeting has come to order on October 2nd, 2025 at 7:45 PM in Mammal Hall 122. Our first item of business is the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections?
Is this the meeting for organizations?
For student government?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, come on in. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? Senator Johnson?
Is this where we would change Senator?
No. Okay. Hearing no changes, if there is no objection, the agenda will be approved as distributed on the fall email. Hearing no objection, the agenda is approved. Next is the approval of the minutes from September 18th, 2025. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing no corrections, if there is no objection, the minute will be approved as distributed. Without objection, the minutes are approved. Okay. Typically, we'll do that. So. Okay. We will now move into open forum. Guests will have up to 10 minutes to address the Senate with any concerns, whether or not they appear on the agenda. Senators may also speak on topics not included in the agenda. However, please reserve comments related to listed agenda items for their scheduled discussion. If you're here for open forum, please sign in with Director Srinivas before leaving. The floor is now open. Yeah, please come on up.
Well.
You have 10 minutes.
Yeah, this will be very quick. Hello, I'm here to ask the. So I'm not aware on how many of y'all are aware of the current food policy with Sodexo. Relating to the Pollux, it's like. You can't even. Like, if I just wanted to hand someone an apple or so. Alright, if I just wanted to give a friend, it's like a little snack. Not allowed to. It's against food policy, for some reason. Sharing foods, it's an important part, for various religions, religious traditions and various cultures here on campus. UNO is committed. I believe that UNO is committed to diversity, but it by refusing to allow students to take part by refusing to let them take part in their own cultures and traditions by sharing food. Is it really committed to that? So I would like to urge the Senate here to vote yes on a resolution later, the commitment to right to food on campus. I urge the student Senate here to vote yes.
Thank you.
I assume a good amount of you know who I am. My name's Elahi. I'm the founder and co-president of Sandwich Club. I've kind of spoken about a few things here before. But a lot of people don't know like the deeper reason why I created Sandwich Club. See, I created it because my student organization was suffering. We wanted to so that we couldn't have a bake sale, and I was mad about that. And campus groups couldn't have food events on campus, which really hurts participation. It hurt my student organization's participation. To be honest, it doesn't affect student groups as much. Like Nora said, if you were to share food, at least last year, that would be against the food policy, but they didn't enforce it. It was mostly just a reason to deny student organizations things. So I created a student organization to essentially mess with administration. I wanted to create a food event and then watch how they enforce it, watch how they shut us down. I could have created a student organization about anything to improve student life, and I chose food because, to be honest, I thought it was the easiest thing to do. So last year I came to student government and I spoke in December and then again in the spring. I showed up on the screen. Here's this event that we have. It's actually against the rules, but you should come anyway. And then they didn't do anything. But we're still here. So we're doing things like the food resolution, which you should pass, which I guess we'll be able to talk about later when it actually comes up. But I think that I think that Sandwich Club is a good example of how you can make a difference. I like to say I abuse my right to free speech with Sandwich Club. You know, I share it with everybody. Send all of your events to every student organization, to every student, try to get people excited, add a little bit of humor into it, you know, print off your free 50 flyers that your student organization can use, and try to get something changed. You can create a petition, you can email people, you can talk to people. I've talked to deans, you know. So just like how a Sandwich Club is a mode of free expression, student government is as well. I'm hoping that Sandwich Club is the kind of organization that inspires you all to do more things. I'm just one person and I did a crazy amount of stuff for one person last year. And I think you guys as senators should, I mean, not that you're not already doing stuff, but I'm hoping that you will do some more things as well. Because you were elected to this position, you're not just here to sit here and be passive, and a lot of you aren't, a lot of you need good stuff, but I just wanna get it out there that you're not here to build up your resume, you're here because you're elected by the people, and there's serious stuff here on campus. There's things like immigration, there's things like tuition, there's things that you can make a difference with because you have the ear of administration. Your student body president is also a regent and has a voice with the regents of the University of Nebraska. You've got some people here who are teaching you how to do things, committee leaders, some faculty and staff maybe who are helping you how to do things. And they're really helpful and you can learn a lot from them, but you should know at the same time that maybe they don't have the same motivations as. For some people, it's their job to tell you what to do. For some people, they have their own student organization that they want to promote. And they're not thinking of everything and they're not thinking of every reason to do everything. So sometimes they make unethical decisions. Sometimes they make self-serving decisions. I'm not saying that happens a lot, but it's something to look at because once you notice something like that start to happen, it's something that you can start to speak up about, and then you can make a difference in the culture that happens here. You're here because you have a voice. You're here to make waves, and I encourage you to make waves. I encourage you to ask, just like I did when I created Sandwich Club, why not do something crazy? Why not try something? Why not try to make a difference through something unconventional? So that's all I have for now. Again, I'm Elahi. Some people know how to contact me, but feel free to contact Sandwich Club if you have any questions about student organizations and what they're allowed to do. If you ever want me to look into a policy or anything, I'm a bit busier this year, but you can always reach out and ask for help about something. You can always reach out and share a picture of your dog with us or something. Like you're always free to talk to me and talk to our organization. So that's all that I have for right now. I'll hail the sandwich.
Is there anyone else here for open forum? If there are no additional speakers, open forum is now closed. Our next item of business is reports. Regent Lacey is currently at a Board of Regents event, so here is a summary of his reports. Three things that he did want to bring to your attention is that Board of Regents will be held at UNMC tomorrow at 9 a.m. If you are interested, please do consider going. They have a lot of topics on the agenda, and if you have any concerns, please speak out at open forum. Or if there's things that should be mentioned, you want to mention that, you can also do that. Also, Chloe Hammond and Johnny Barrientos will be representing SGA in homecoming, so congratulations to them. And finally, if you're interested in joining the Health and Wellness Ad Hoc Committee, please reach out to Regent Lacey as soon as possible. If you have any questions about them or anything in general about his report, I can do my best to answer those right now. Okay, for my report, I'm just gonna summarize. I have been in and out of meetings. The safety walk that was supposed to happen yesterday will now happen on October 23rd. The time has not been released yet, but I can follow up when I get more information. Also, just as a general reminder, when you are speaking for resolutions or any discussions, please direct all comments to me when you are speaking. Are there any questions about my report? Okay. Chief of Staff Gomez is also not here today. He is currently having fun in Dominican Republic. So here is his report. They will be having the RSO mixer on November 15th. And again, if you have any questions about his report, I can do my best to answer. Okay, we will now hear reports from our Executive Council. May we have Director Srinivasan's report?
Hello, everyone. Everything has been now finalized. So minutes has been documented and been clarified. So proper executive sentence has been filed and all good. So we have also started working on in civic committee on the dash-based executive operations. So that's also going well. So we are also working on something related to late arrival to these meetings. So how do we get this attendance sorted? So that will be something we'll be addressing in the next calls. So that's it from me.
Are there any questions for Director Srinivasan? Thank you. Next, we have Director of DEI Stefan's report.
So I'm working with Colby to train the new agency directors. So the 4 of them were trained, the 2 FGSA and 2 WGEC were trained, and they hopefully will get through the HR process and start soon. I've been collaborating with the QTS board on the drag show. I had a board meeting with them today. We're finalizing contracts, going over themes, everything of that sort. And then we have some interested candidates for the other positions, director positions. So hopefully that'll happen soon.
Are there any questions from Director Steffens? Director Savage?
Do you know when your contracts are gonna be done by?
When I put them in, which I'm doing right now. And some of them I haven't heard back from because they don't have complete contracts. So as soon as I know, I will try.
You're good.
Are there any other questions? Okay. Director Finance Savage, maybe you have your report, please.
Yeah, there's not much to go over. I met with budget last Thursday and we got everything approved that was pending, so that was exciting. There's currently nothing in the queue for us, so we're on a roll, I guess. And then, yep, I just talked about meeting separately with budget, when things start picking up a little bit more, for purchase requests.
Are there any questions for Director Savage? Thank you. Director Neela?
I also don't have a whole lot. Just today I sent out an email to some individuals that haven't submitted their certificates. So I'm still obtaining those. I'm reviewing the agency bylaws and looking at some potential ways to add those to just the general bylaws, and other than that, not too much.
Are there any questions for Director Neela? Perfect, thank you. Director Hills, maybe you have your report?
Yeah, so in FYLC, we did those elections and voting. Those were finalized. So now the two ambassadors they elected are here today to give their proponent speech. And so that'll be later. And then DEIA committee met and we discussed the proposed resolutions as well as hopefully some brainstorming for some potential events. And then I've been in contact with Chancellor Lee's office for her to come in and do a leadership talk or workshop with FYLC. And then working on like figuring out the Gallup strengths and purchasing that, and having someone speak about those for FLC, and then just creating some additional like campus resource presentations and potential partnership opportunities.
Thank you. Are there your questions for Director Hills? Perfect. Director Santiago?
So submissions have just closed, I believe on September 30th for the RSO of the month. So those are currently being reviewed to see who the main organization is for the first winner. And then I'm planning to get because Wear Black Give Back is next week. With that, I think Chancellor Lee was I think for if 500 students donate $5, she was giving, is it $10,000 in scholarships or something? So I'll get that post up hopefully soon. And then Ella, I was gonna ask, does QTS, do they have their own marketing for the drag show, or should I make that?
So we will have posters and I will get them sent to you.
Okay.
And I will send you the video that they're making about the drag show.
Okay.
So
Thank you. Other than that, I think that's all for my report. Are there any questions at all?
Unfortunately, members of the public are not able to ask questions, but if there's a senator willing to yield their speaking turn, Senator Piper,
I'll yield my speaking turn.
what's your question?
So I'm seeing like number 4, it says HOCO nominee post. What's that?
Oh, yes. I was just gonna post it's Chloe Hammond and then Johnny. I was gonna post them for for homecoming.
Are there, Senator Jake?
Says you received all the exec bios and all that stuff. Did you post them already or is it in process?
Not yet. The exec one I was gonna post tomorrow.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you. As we don't have director of recruitment, we're gonna have coordinator of student engagement.
I met with Coordinator Sapp and President Gio earlier this week for the RSO mixer. So me and Coordinator Sapp are going to be sending out some emails as well as collecting them later on in the week. And then I've also been working with the outreach committee to finalize some details for the plaque. We were thinking more of a long-term plaque rather than just having it for a year, to have it extended for multiple years. And then we're assessing how much that would cost, and then we'll be getting in contact with budget committee about that.
Are there any questions for Coordinator Burton? Thank you. Coordinator Sip, could we have your report, please?
Yes, I met with Colby regarding ideas for the civic engagement group, which we talked a lot about the DASH resolution. And then on top of that, I also met with Gio along with Coordinator Burton regarding the RSO mixer and getting emails ready. We have a tentative date right now, but it's not fully like officially set in stone right now, but kind of getting the wheels moving on that one.
Are there any questions for Coordinator Sip? Perfect. Manager Hammond reported here. Are there any questions that I can answer? Perfect. Oh, unfortunately, members of the public are not able to answer or ask questions. Is there a senator willing to yield their time? Senator Johnson.
Are there any updates on the, I think I remember or maybe 2 weeks ago, they mentioned this MavSync policy with, it was something like extending it to letting people, something about 14 days of MavSync and letting people post, it was earlier or later. I was just wondering if there was any developments on that, or clearly I don't have. to get into that.
I believe Chief of Staff Gomez is still working it out with the SLI office. I think he's supposed, not SLI, excuse me, the business office. I think they're supposed to have a meeting sometime soon to discuss further details. Senator
I
Quindoroo,
have a question. Will that be discussed at a later meeting once it's finalized?
the resolution?
Yeah.
Yes, potentially, depending on what they discuss. Any other questions? Is there a senator willing to yield their time? Senator Johnson, do you yield their time?
I just wanted to mention,
Yeah.
my name's Rhett, I'm from the Gateway, the student newspaper here, and so if I could speak with just want to mention maybe afterwards, once the meeting is adjourned, if I can speak with the director of leadership, would that be you, just about FYLC, and kind of curious about that and get some of that stuff out there, so I just wanted to bring that up, maybe it's not the best time. That's all.
Perfect. Are there any other questions that I can answer? Okay, moving on to our reports from committee. Is there a report from the budget committee? Yeah.
So we don't have a lot to go over, but the last budget committee meeting, we approved the math bike purchase. And then there were 3 other purchases to help SJ with the tabling events in different markets. So we approved.
Thank you. Are there any questions from budget committee? Okay, moving on. Senator Johnson.
Last week, we went over the DASH resolution. I reviewed it this week. We'll be going over it later tonight. And I met with a couple other committee chairs at 5 p.m. today to just go over like general questions and stuff like that.
Are there any questions for Chair Johnson? Excuse me. Okay, may we have Chair Piper's report, please?
Yes. So I met with the committee last week. We have one resolution on the floor today, which is the commitment to the right to food on campus. We actively in the making of trying to figure out some events and fun things to plan this year. I'm also reaching out to a lot of clubs here on campus just to get them aware that like we do have a DEIA committee. So if they need help with anything or want us there, we can be there. So yes.
Are there any questions for Chair Piper? Okay, moving on to outreach, is Chair Costa.
Yeah, so I think it's mostly already been said, but outreach committee, we talked about like the logistics of like what style of plaque we wanted, so we're working on actually getting that created. And then we received from PR manager Hammond today all of the nominations that the RSO of the month nomination form received, which did close on the 30th, and we have all of outreach committee will choose their top 3, and then we'll discuss at next Thursday's committee meeting about who we would like to award.
Right. Are there any questions for Chair Costa? Okay, moving on to rules committee, Chair Shake gets started for.
Yes, the Rules Committee went over the conflict of interest policy changes proposed by the Executive Committee. We approved it. We are currently in the process of reviewing agency bylaws. We're trying to add them all to the general bylaws so it's more clear. And we will meet with agency directors soon to discuss their perspectives on policy.
Is there any questions for Chair Shake? Senator Costa?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, so is the vision for the agency bylaws to be just like a subsection? And they're also like underneath all of the general SJ bylaws, like what is like the idea for that?
Yes, it's gonna be added at the very end of the general bylaws. Right now, our plan is to have all the whatever policies are universal among all the agencies. We're trying to condense them and put it as a combined student agency bylaw section. And then whatever stands out, we're gonna discuss with those directors about, hey, do you need this here? Is it like really important? And then we'll make subsections for each agency and put it out there. That's what we're trying to do. We're doing a mix of both.
Okay, and then. When you guys, like, are they gonna, the agency directors or like, are they gonna join rules committee to like make final decisions, or are you guys taking precedent over the agency directors for those?
We want to meet with these directors and get their perspective, of course, because it's their own bylaws. Do we have precedent? Yes, but we want their input, of course. We're gonna frame those bylaws just like they want it to be. So that's why we're gonna meet with them. We don't want to overwrite anything against their will.
Yep. Director Stones.
What will you do with the agencies that don't have a director right now? Are you gonna hold off on editing their bylaws until we find a director? Or how are you gonna work with that?
This part of this is a high priority project, so we want to finish it quickly, but if there's another leadership position available within the agency, we could talk with them and try to go with that. Or if it's against the rules, then we probably will have to hold off on that. But we can discuss that further, the specific agency and of course the executive committee.
Can I please provide some clarifying questions, answers that may come up that may have not already come up? For clarification, the bylaws will be added to the policy index, not the bylaws. As discussed during rules committee last week, it's better to add them to the policy index because we already have a subsection of the agencies. We have the agency directors, we just need to then split off into what agencies are and what their things will be. It will be generalized, so the agencies still have control about how they do certain things, that they can still carry out their mission, but it will be, like, membership requirements will be generalized, so it aligns with SGA. But everything else will remain as to what agencies do. Director Stephens.
So agencies will still have their own set of bylaws, but then they will also fall under the policy index, or we're just getting rid of agency bylaws?
We're not getting rid of the agency bylaws. Okay, let me just clarify. We are not getting rid of the agency bylaws. They will just be added in, so they will just go off once in there. But everyone from the agency will be involved in that conversation. This is a long one-year project. Unfortunately, I don't think we can get that done within that semester just because of how big these bylaws are. It will probably take some time.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Senator Klinder, do you have a question? Okay. Any other questions, concerns for Chair Shake? Okay. May we have the advisor's report, please?
I worked with Regent Lysy and prepared some material that recapped Dash's presentation at the business meeting 2 weeks ago on financial wellness. So the results of those materials and civic engagements review at the last circuit meeting have resulted in the resolution that will be presented later today. I helped with parking services successfully onboard the Traffic Appeals Commission income report that they reviewed. 12 appeals. The first appeals of the year have been, those decisions have been sent out. And like Ella, as director of DEIA mentioned, I've done a lot of work on onboarding those agency directors that were confirmed by the Senate 2 business meetings ago, and we await HR's final approval in processing that paperwork there. And my reminder to the senators that the bylaws require that each senator meet with me at least once. So if you haven't scheduled that meeting, please contact me, use my calendar link and do that at your convenience. That concludes my report.
Are there any questions for our Vice Chair Proctor? Thank you. Okay, our next item of business is unfinished business. As there is no unfinished business, we are going to move to new business. The chair is seeking a motion to table updates to policy index, appointment of FYLC Ambassador Clancy Rodriguez, and appointment of FYLC Ambassador Valentina Perry, and discussion on the employment of EMS Director because we don't have 2/3 of senators present. Senator Piper,
I motion to table those items.
is there a second? Senator Johnson, is there any discussion? If there is no discussion, all those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placards. All those abstaining, please raise your placards. The said items have been tabled. Our next item of business is the commitment to right to food on campus. Is there a proponent speech? Let's move up.
So I wrote this resolution as Sandwich Club president, based on the current food policy. Like I mentioned, like we mentioned before, food policy is pretty restrictive. And currently, you're not allowed to serve food on campus. And that includes beyond the campus caters, like it includes beyond the catering contract. And frankly, I think that's against the universal missions, so. So the sharing of food is a cultural and religious right for people. We want to make sure that people are able to bring cultural food to campus, that professors are able to share what their family makes, that I'm able to share what my family makes. And I frankly think I have the right to do that, especially, I mean, we have designated public forums, you know, to serve people. You know, the current food policy inhibits individuals' ability to serve food on campus. Last year's food policy was a little bit more restrictive. This year, you're basically not allowed to serve anything. You are allowed to share things, but you're not allowed to serve food. And they don't enforce it really, but I think it's a problem for the university. They have given a little bit of extra wiggle room for faculty and staff, but not really for students, which is why we're here today. The student government has the responsibility to protect the rights of student freedoms of the student body. Again, with culture, food events such as potlucks, lunches, dinners, teas, religious celebrations, and more contribute to the cultural diversity and education environment of the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Again, we want that rich, diverse environment. That's why people come to the universities for that critical thinking. Community events. I pulled a specific example. Indigenous Peoples Summit happened last summer, and there was a news article that I cited there that the elders from there had to walk from Sapp Fieldhouse, which is a Viking Grade Field, and they had to walk all the way down to Elmwood Park to have food. And they didn't have to do that for the past year, and this year they had it in a different location. So we're losing community partners, really. We're losing community events because the food policy doesn't let them bring food on campus. So we want to bring in the community as well. Contractual obligations by university only cover the exclusive right and obligations covering those dining services. That essentially is just catered events. As long as Sodexo is available, you're not allowed to cater anywhere on campus. If I were to have food in the parking lot catered, we would say you're not allowed to do that. And that's a signed contract, they're obligated to enforce it, and so you can't have any events catered. But it doesn't include all of it, it doesn't include all served food, just in cases where you're paying somebody to cater food, essentially. So it's not as strict as you think it is contractually, essentially, is what that is saying. The Nebraska Food Code is also cited in the new food regulation as one of the reasons why we have the food restrictions here. I've looked at the Nebraska Food Code, and essentially all it says is in food preparation areas. So that would be like cafes, kitchens, anywhere where there's extensive handling of food. The Nebraska Food Code applies. Anywhere that's not that, the code does not apply to. So this room, for instance, there's not a significant handling of food. There's not like an oven in the room, so the Nebraska Food Code does not cover pretty much anything. And if you include the like kitchens on campus as part of an educational institution, it doesn't even apply to that. So what we're doing today is demanding that students, staff, faculty, and community members be allowed to bring their own food, snacks, and beverages to share in spaces not operated by university dining operations, which is where Sodexo has control, and which do not require food service. And that a process for exemption be available and advertised to student organizations. I don't think anything about the new policy has been advertised to anybody. So I wanted to include that. And there is an exemption, but I think almost none of them apply to anything that a student organization will do. But there's an exemption, just don't just. Every time, place, and manner, and religious exemption. Sandwich Club tried to have a religious event last year. I wasn't trying to pull anything on anybody. I just thought surely they'd give us a religious exemption. They don't give that. I think that might put the university in legal trouble, but that's not for me to decide. We just want to say, as a student body, people should be able to have a religious exemption and not be impeded in their rights to have religious events on campus. And therefore, be it finally resolved, we're basically sending it to everybody. So, yeah. Yeah, to the Office of the Chancellor, Assistant Finance. The Assistant Finance is the one who have written most of the rule, and Faculty Senate. So I'm going to pass this on to Faculty Senate too. And then I have the appendix resolved by sort of most of the reference. So, any questions?
Yeah, are there any questions for Elahi? Senator Shake?
Forgive me if I missed this part. When you went over the state code and the interpretations, did you do it on your own or did you get help from outside?
I did it on my own, yeah.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Senator Clark?
So one thing that I had thought about, is when it comes to cross contaminations, like when it comes, and I'm thinking more specifically to allergens, like if you think of a peanut allergy, it can range from like not really that bad, like you can have a little bit and it won't be a bad thing, to I knew this kid in high school who went to a Cracker Barrel and even the peanut dust caused him to go into anaphylactic shock. And religious reasons as well, that cross contamination. And I guess my question is, were we to vote on this and it would come up as a yes, how would situations like that be prevented? Because I don't want it to be a situation like where some schools will put a peanut free section, because I don't want people to be singled out. But at the same time, I don't want to exclude people like that because they're afraid that I'm gonna eat this, and because I don't know what's in it, I'm going to have an allergic reaction, or it's something that I can't eat due to my religion. So I don't want to exclude people in both directions, if that makes sense.
Sure. So I think there's two parts to that. There's allergies and there's like religious principles. one major thing for religious principles is the Sodexo kitchen is not certified halal, it's not certified kosher. If you want to have an event with catered food that's kosher and you're strict about it, you want to like a halal. I have family that won't eat at a restaurant that isn't halal. And so if they were to attend an event on campus, they wouldn't be able to eat anything because all the catered food has to be from the Sodexo kitchen. So as far as religion is concerned, the current policy means that there is cross contamination that interrupts people's religious preferences. As for allergies, the current policy does not prevent people from bringing things like peanuts. It doesn't provide areas free of allergens. I know UNMC does that as a hospital type environment, but nothing about the current policy prevents anybody from bringing anything. And even where it does inhibit food, it doesn't do it in practice. So if two people wanted to share things and they didn't know what they were eating, they'd have to trust their friends regardless of whether they were technically breaking rules. And even in those situations, the university doesn't have a right to say you can't bring that anyway. It's the university is not liable for anything that people do. Not that it isn't, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't be. I think they're making themselves liable by saying we're going to enforce this policy and they're not enforcing it. But does that answer your questions?
Kind of. I guess the thing that I'm still confused on is you go through, I don't even remember that specific company that does catering. Yes. Do they make, like if you're catering, do they make allergens aware, like, hey, here's this food, it does have peanuts or it does have gluten, it is not safe for people with celiac or something? Is it open about that or is it?
They're required. Especially to the people who are purchasing, making purchase requests. Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Senator Johnson, excuse me.
Just for clarity's sake, I know you mentioned liability a little bit, but if there was some kind of like an allergy event from people bringing in food, would the university be liable?
I can't tell you that. That would be something for a lawyer. It's just a hunch that the university would be under a lot of fire for not enforcing a policy that it has. Whether or not the policy is in place, people are going to bring the same stuff anyways, I think. A lot of people don't know about the policy. A lot of people don't have the policy enforced on them.
Is there?
I was gonna ask same question if there was something to happen, not allergy, anything, but does the current food policy have any liability? The university, I think you said it doesn't. It's not held liable, but if students are allowed to cater amongst themselves, is there any liability? Who is responsible? But I think you said.
I think.
Right.
But one of the things I have in there is an exemption form, so that like the university would not be liable for a religious event that had an allergen or something.
Are there any other? Senator Lopez Pereira?
Yes, I'm trying to think of how I'm gonna phrase this, but you know, as we know, of course, with the whole strict food policy that has created a lot of different, it's like loopholes that people have gone to the extent to just because they are wanting food. I would like to hear about your perspective on that, especially with this resolution.
I could list all the loopholes. I think a big one that I mentioned is that it's largely just not enforced.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people do is just go around it. So student organizations go to Elmwood Park all the time. They're not able to do that during the winter or when it's raining or anything, or they're not able to have their outside event if there is severe weather. You know, kind of other loopholes. There are very specific requirements for bake sales. So bake sales aren't completely outlawed, you just can't make it at home and you have to get permission from a bunch of people, essentially. I think the only viable bake sale that I've seen in the last year was multiple groups selling stuff from the International Bakery, which they can upsell. But I had a student reach out to me a couple of weeks ago, who's in theater. And he was like, how can I get concessions for theater without paying Sodexo prices? And I said, essentially, it's a little bit looser this year, so people can bring their own stuff and share with a friend, or essentially have like a small potluck, I think. But as for a student organization, the most you'd be able to do is go to the grocery store and buy individual packets of popcorn. So there are little things like that.
And then also, are you aware of how like people would bring in like, I guess, catering into the school? Are you aware of those incidents? As I feel like maybe those have in the past have done that.
There are a couple of questions about catering. This resolution doesn't change the catering policy.
Of course, not for sure. I just meant like the whole fact of how like, even though it's very strict with like bringing in food or not, I think, people tend to, of course, try to break the rules or try to bend the rules. And they would bring in outside food when they know, or not when they know, but what's it called? If like the possibility. I'm running on, yeah.
Are you asking how they do it or what the consequences?
Yeah, pretty much that. And like, what were like the consequences of that?
Yeah, so there is a small exemption that existed last year. Currently, there's a little bit of freedom, especially for spirit and tradition and very specific things for classes. Even, but it would be whenever Sodexo is not available, whenever they're already booked, people can bring other stuff. So the Teacher Education Diversity Organization bought an Olive Garden last year. And I think that's probably the only organization that had outside catering. The other option would be just to not have the event catered, but to bring food and serve it yourself, which is what I wanted people to be able to do, which is what this is.
Yeah.
And the consequences, I think, like I mentioned earlier in open forum, Sandwich Club may or may not have broken the rules and it was not enforced. And I don't know why, but so far it's not been enforced at least in the last year. I think I heard a rumor that 2 years ago, I think it was Black Studies had an event. And when they had the event approved, the policy hadn't been confirmed, but when the event happened, they had people come and take the food. And that's all I know about that.
Yeah, that's funny because I was at that exact event where it happened and literally people were already eating it. And I guess, people like from the university just took it, even though it was already been eaten out of. So, yeah. And I don't know what they did to that said food, but I guess theory it is, unfortunately, they threw it out. That's probably mine.
Senator Underwood,
I moved to Groove for 5 minutes.
we're in the middle of discussions. Is there a motion to end discussion? As there's no motion, is there any further questions for Lonnie? Senator
I don't know
Johnson,
if it's a question or if I have to do it in discussion, but I want a motion to amend.
that will be during discussion.
So like right now.
This is questioning.
Oh.
Yes. Are there any further questions for Lonnie? As there's no further questions, I'll now move on to discussion. Thank you. Senator Johnson.
I'd like to move to amend somewhere in there, not quite sure where, but that whatever food is brought in should explicitly list allergens, just to make sure.
Do you identify which?
Maybe it might be bigger. Maybe after the appropriate time, place, manner and disclosure. So here's like the way it's about. The next one.
And or is this close?
Both or just one?
They both say the same thing.
I meant that one, but I didn't read past that one, so.
And what one's that?
Yeah, do that paragraph and the one below it.
These two paragraphs?
Yep.
Senator Johnson, may I ask for the wording of the motions?
Given an appropriate time, place, manner, comma, and appropriate disclosure of.
Is there a second on the motion to add the phrasing, given an appropriate time, place, manner, and appropriate disclosure of allergens? Senator Shake, is that a second? Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, all those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. Okay, the motion has been passed. Is there any further discussion? Senator Clifton.
It's appropriate, redundant.
Is there a motion?
Motion to delete the second, you put appropriate.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, Senator Johnson with the second. Is there any discussion?
I just wanna say, I think all food ingredients can be an allergen, so I get the point, you just have to say like ingredients. Cause otherwise it's just what's considered an allergen, cause you can be allergic to anything.
So the correct motion is to remove appropriate. Senator Johnson.
I'd argue that like if you have a weird allergy, it's less so on the people to disclose every ingredient versus you asking like, hey, does this have like strawberries or something?
Senator Miles or Senator Clark, excuse me.
I would argue, like being a person that does have a weird food allergy, being capsaicin, a lot of people don't know if certain foods have it or not. So a lot of times I don't find out until I eat it and get sick. So I feel like just because even though it is something that like I'm the only person I know with a capsaicin allergy, but I feel like because it does happen, even if it's just like a small thing that's like, hey, this has, you know, this and this in it. So if you can't have it, like, here's something else we have. I feel like saying ingredients just in general is a little bit more inclusive because when I think of allergens, I think of peanuts, I think of flour and wheat and milk, like ingredients just seems more general, if that makes sense.
Senator Fox.
I just wanted to say that I don't really see any reason to not open it up to ingredients. The pro is that it's more inclusive, other than like being more work for the vendors. I don't really see another downside, especially if it's like preventing allergic reaction.
Senator Piper.
I would also agree with like disclosure of ingredients, and I mean, we could also play off of words here and say like appropriate disclosure of like known ingredients and of allergens. That could also be in there to kind of cover both if that's something that like we're really being sticklers on. I personally would say I think having ingredients disclosed would be more beneficial because at the end of the day, like I have a niece and she has a soy, dairy and a corn allergen. And so like having just the ingredients to be able to look at it would be way more beneficial than just saying allergens. But I mean, adding both of them in there wouldn't also hurt. So that's kind of my.
Senator, Ruben Pereira.
Yes, I was also just thinking like, why don't we just add both ingredients and allergens just to, cover both sides?
Senator Johnson.
I'm not opposed to like the ingredients. My one concern would be that it would restrict the foods that are able to be brought in. Like if you want to bring in Little Caesar's pizza for your school club, then you'd have to get an ingredients list from Little Caesar's. And I think, I don't know, it could just sort of be counterproductive.
Senator Weissman.
I was wondering if there was a possibility that we could consult with someone who possibly had further knowledge of the proper language to use legally. I think perhaps when you consider liability or even just the proper way to alert people, maybe there's an understood or accepted use of language that someone else might know if they have a more knowledge about that than we do.
To answer your question, senators do have the right to refer a resolution back to a committee. The executive committee can take that on with the author and conversation with Jacob or Laware. Senator Shane.
Oh, I was gonna say, oh, yeah, to Senator Johnson's point. My understanding is food places usually have the list of ingredients already, so I don't think it's gonna be an extra effort to get them. That's my first point. My second point is to end the discussion for this because we're talking about deleting the second appropriate. And so we can continue the discussion later.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion to end discussion.
Is there a second? As there is no second, the motion fails. Senator Costa.
I guess I just want to point out that this isn't amending the actual food policy, and this is just a letter of support. And so I think a discussion about semantics on language for food policy would happen if people who write, UNO food policy decide to take on an amendment to their own policy. If that makes sense.
Director Stephens.
Also, as someone who's been diabetic, it's super easy to find all ingredients lists. Just Google it. It's not that difficult. I just pulled up Little Caesars. They got all the ingredients. It's really easy. So I don't think that's as much an issue as make it.
Is there any further discussion on removing the word appropriate from appropriate expenditure of all allergens? If there's no further discussion, all those in favor of removing appropriate from these raise your placards. And all those opposed, please raise your placards. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. The motion to remove the word appropriate has passed. Senator Johnson.
I motion to change allergens to ingredient.
Is there a second? Senator Clark. Is there any discussion? As there is no discussion, all those in favor of changing allergens to ingredients, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placards. All those abstaining, please raise your placards. The motion has passed. Senator Johnson.
It should also be in the next paragraph as well, and some time and place.
Is that mentioned? Yeah, it is mentioned twice.
I think it was included in the original motion.
I do apologize.
It's okay.
Um. Because the original thing that was approved was appropriate disclosure. Senator Acosta.
Motion to appropriate. Second. Yeah, from that, the second appropriate under this resolution.
Is there a second? Senator Piper, is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. The motion has passed. Is there any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Yes. If there's no further discussion, we will move on to the passing. All those in favor of the resolution, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placards. All abstaining, please raise your placards. The resolution has passed. We can clap. Our next item of business is support for Dash's cash course and financial wellness effort. Is there a finance speech? Senator Henry, is that up?
What?
Did you raise your placard?
Yeah, I moved to group for 5 minutes.
Is there a second to the Senator Johnson? Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. Motion to move to group for 5 minutes has been approved.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I'll probably. Yeah. Me too.
Wanna go? Here we go.
Yeah.
Next item of business is support for Dash's cash course and financial wellness. Is there a proposed speech?
Yes.
Please come up.
Good evening, everyone. I'm speaking today in support of SR 2526-006, which recognizes and supports Dash Cash Course and financial wellness programs here at UNM. We all know that college isn't just about classes and grades. Many of our students are dealing with real life financial stress, and that stress can make it harder to stay focused, stay enrolled, and succeed. Helping students with financial wellness isn't just a nice extra, it's a big part of helping them succeed here. That's why programs like Cash Course, peer mentors, and financial counseling are so important. They give students practical tools, budgeting skills, financial planning, and someone to turn to with questions. It's about giving students confidence, stability, and a better chance at long-term success. This resolution does three things. It shows that SGA supports these efforts, it commits us to helping spread the word so more students know about them, and it calls on the university to invest in making these programs sustainable for the future. At the end of the day, this is about making sure students have the resources they need to thrive, not just academically, but personally and financially. That's why I could encourage you all to support this resolution. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Is there any discussion on the resolution? The chair is seeking a motion to correct Senator Tasneem's name and Senator Elby. Senator Piper, is there a second? Senator Johnson, is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. The motion has been approved. Is there any further discussion on the resolution? If there's no discussion, all those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. The resolution has passed. Our next item of business is good of the order. What is one thing that made you smile this week? For me, it was Gary Haroon this morning while he just parked in his car and he's singing.
Sorry, say that? I didn't.
You were in the car and I just. He said not to bring it up. I did, sorry. Sarah Potts.
When I was driving here, there was a car next to me with dogs. And like, you know, out the window and.
Senator Johnson.
I went to the best concert I've ever been to. Smile and cry.
Nara Krista.
It was really good salad song today. The night one.
Senator Piper.
My 1-year-old niece, just decided to start walking, so. Really excited about that.
Alright.
Oh, me too. I got a good grade on an assignment that I was pretty worried about, came back in Canvas, and I was, oh no, you know, the notification Hey, I did all right. It's not me.
Pereira.
Probably the weather. I feel like the weather this week has just been amazing.
Senator Clark.
So I work at a dog daycare and I get to like let out the boarding dogs before we put them up or our keep close down. And that's my favorite time, as much as I hate leaving them behind, because that's the moment when I get to really sit down and like snuggle with them instead of standing up and making sure they're not fighting with each other. And one of my favorite dogs, she was boarding and she crawled in my lap, even though she's a big Labrador, so but yeah.
Senator Linderud.
My book club finally got back together again, so I'm pretty happy about that. We smile a lot when we do that, so.
Senator Weitzman.
I got a call for a second interview for a job that I'm looking at, and I don't want to put too much of it out into the universe, but it's tomorrow afternoon, so.
Bye.
I went to Chipotle with my roommate and it turns out that my boyfriend was there with his friend at the same time, had no idea, and he paid for my chips and guac. So.
Senator Shake.
The reaction, Senate's reaction to me singing in my car, that made me smile.
Advisor Brock.
I had to meet with those, the 4 confirmed agency directors, and they all said they had opposite schedules, they wouldn't be able to be in the room at the same time. They surprisingly, they didn't even have the invite, but they still all made it at the same time.
I celebrated my 20th birthday on Monday, so.
Director Santiago.
I played Mario Kart last night with my friend.
Director Hills. Yeah, when I was on duty on Monday on rounds, we saw a raccoon jump out of the trash can and share pizza with the cat. Aww. Coordinator Burton.
A friend of mine just opened their own office, so it was fun celebrating with them.
Coordinator Smith.
I just planned a trip to Salem in October, so I'm super excited.
Director Savage.
While driving through Elmwood today, I saw a dog like pounce on a golf ball and like run around with it, so it's pretty cute.
Director Neela.
I got to go home and visit my dog, so.
I finally got a graduate assistant, so that's pretty cool.
I apologize. I'm having a hard time remembering your name. Could you remind me what it was?
Joshua,
Joshua. Joshua, what's one thing that made you smile this week?
probably winning FYLC Jeopardy just.
And then I'll have you introduce yourself as well.
I'm Jose.
Say, okay. And what's one thing that made you smile this week?
I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep and I didn't fall asleep at all today.
And I just want to introduce both Joshua and Jose are part of FYLC, if that wasn't. Oh, I am so sorry.
Oh.
No. Joshua is, right?
Yes.
Okay. My bad, Jose. I really apologize.
You're good.
Director Rosby.
Really, what makes me happy is you all being done before 11. So.
There a motion for adjournment? Senator Potts, is there a second? Senator Piper, is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. All those abstaining, don't say anything. Meeting has been adjourned.